There's literally a tornado warning and I'm making a YouTube video. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's been a while since I haven't just sat down and talked to you. And in this week's video, we are going to be talking about building your first killer resume. So without anything else to say, I hope you guys enjoy this video. So over the past maybe like a year, I think I have had amazing opportunities to explore my career and my professional development. And that has come with a lot of failure. And I am making all of these videos to give you advice on stuff that I wish I would have heard before and that I think I have learned along the way. Also some things that people have shared with me that have definitely shifted my perspective on things, and also, I don't know, just giving you like big sister advice. People always ask me like, how do you do this? How do you do that? So here are those answers, and we're going to be focusing on building your first resume today. So this was my first resume ever. That was not that great. And then this is like the better version of it. That was not that great. Like, I generally do not know how I was able to land some of the opportunities that I've had with that kind of presentation, but this is what my resume looks like now. This is so much better. I don't think it's perfect. I don't think anything will ever be perfect. And this is a world that is constantly evolving, but here are the top tips that I've received in order to make my resume go from this to this. So the first step is to create a list of all the awards, jobs, positions, volunteer opportunities, everything that you have ever done, and just make a whole list of it. Because it's very easy sometimes for us to forget everything that we have been involved. So we're just gonna grab maybe like a piece of paper or a Word document and type everything down. After that, you will go through it and see kind of like what's still relevant. So for example, if you're a freshman in college, then maybe you still want to highlight some stuff that you've done in high school because that's the most recent experience you've had. But if you're like a sophomore pushing it to a junior or maybe a senior, like those things can stay buried in the past, and maybe you should focus on stuff that you are doing now that is more relevant to the person that you are today and the goals that you're pursuing in the near future. Once you have narrowed your list down to those things that you consider are more relevant to the person that you are today and speak better of the abilities that you currently possess, now you're going to create 3 bullet points that describe the role that you played in each of those activities. You're going to make this 3 bullet points concise, but also as descriptive as possible, which is like such an art. And I was told this past summer that it's good to use AI. Now, I do not know if that applies currently as of March 2026 because things have changed a lot, but I was advised by the Career Center here at my school to literally write down in ChatGPT or any AI. I would actually probably use Gemini or Copilot more than ChatGPT, but anyway, and you will write down everything that you did in a position. This will not be like the 3 summarized bullet points. This will be just you jotting down everything that you've done. So for example, I was a translator for an office, and I also helped manage a supplies pantry, and I also oversaw the youth programs, like summer reading stuff. Like every single thing that you did, no matter how small it is, it really showcases a lot of your skills. And try not to belittle like the activities that you did. So for example, if you created a whole like list of data for someone, that's still important information. That speaks of your like data analysis skills or maybe your Excel skills. I don't know, whatever. Like don't belittle yourself. So this is kind of like what I was told you can use AI for. You're gonna spill everything, and then you're gonna ask the AI, hey, create 3 bullet points that describe the things that I did and keep them 1 sentence each. Then after the AI kind of like tells you this 3 bullet points, you're gonna go in and tailor them because we're not gonna copy and paste everything that like ChatGPT tells us. So you should read the sentences, and the way that I have been told and I structure my own sentences is to always start with a verb. I do not know if like Chat will do that. Maybe you can like customize it more. I would personally advise you to use this as an inspiration. And what I think helped me a lot using the AI is that I realized that I was doing many more things, but when I was writing my own sentences, I wasn't really using maybe the best method of describing all the activities and all the things that I did in certain positions, but I still did them. So AI kind of helped me be able to put that into 3 bullet points, and then I was able to go in and tailor them better. So the way that I tailor my sentences is that I start always with a verb. Every single bullet point for every single position should start with a verb, and every single verb should be different. You don't want to have every single verb be like created, like that's not really showcasing different abilities or that you have done like a plethora of things. So this is your moment to start getting creative. Like literally pull up the thesaurus and go like synonyms for insert verb, and then like change them up. You know, you have to spice your resume up a little bit. And after the verb, you're going to describe what you did in that position. And a thing that I was told is to, after like your first sentence, you do a comma, and then you add more information that adds to that first sentence. So for example, assisted with the planning of the annual back to school fair, comma, which helped 200 kids or 500 kids and 200 families. Now, here is where you can add information that's more tangible and quantitative. This is very important. Always add numbers. Add some sort of like metric that allows people to see the impact of the stuff that you have done. So I'm genuinely telling you stuff that's on my resume right now, and I'm gonna try to see if I can insert some pictures on the screen, but add as much like numbers as you can so people can see the true impact of the work that you've done, and maybe that you can manage a big team, or maybe that the program that you did really impacted your community the way that you're describing or saying that it did. Okay, now for some like organizational tips. You should start always with your experience. So this is especially important when you have just graduated or you're still a college student. You do not want to begin with your education, because you're kind of telling them like, hey, I'm a student, or like, hey, I just graduated, like I don't have that much experience. And in the workplace, experience is so much more important than, I would say like, of course it's super important to be educated, but if you've worked something for 30 years, there's no way that someone that just graduated is gonna have that experience. And you will realize that when you're like job hunting, they're gonna be like, oh, we do want you to be like a recent grad, but we also want you to have worked on this for like 30 years. And you're like, I'm 20, like, what do you want me to do? So don't like outright sell yourself as a student or a recent grad. Start with your experience. And again, like, you have to genuinely sell yourself as much as possible. So always like start maybe with your most like recent position, or maybe the position that's most relevant to the job that you're applying for, or the internship. But that's kind of how I have it structured. Then under my experience, I have the section of education, and here's where I have my bachelor's, and that's it. Like I don't have anything else. But eventually when I get my JD, that will go there. Oh, another thing that I have there, for a little bit I studied at like international school in France. I did French over there, and I was told that that's like a very niche thing that can be good, especially, well, I'm going into law, so take this with a grain of salt, but it's sometimes a very like traditional field of work, and this kind of things like, oh, I studied French in France, like that might give you brownie points depending who's interviewing you. I was told this one story of a girl who did golf or something, but like I think she like only did it once, or didn't even do it, but like knew about like a golf course in the area, and she started talking to the interviewer about like the golf course, and they just had a great conversation about golf. But I don't even think this girl really even golfed or anything, but she ended up getting this position in this very big like law firm in DC. And I'm not saying it was just because of the golf, but it's like, if you can add those little things on your resume that can like spark some sort of like conversation, I think that's really like a trick that you definitely should like think about, and it's something that you maybe don't really think of, but finding ways in which you can show your personality and that you are a human, because ultimately they're also thinking of like who they're gonna hire, not just because of their skills, but like who fits better with their team. Like it's both things. Like you can be really good at something, and I also really visualize me working with you, or me as the team manager, like leading you and how you fit in with my group. And those moments in which you can show that you're like a person and you're fun and you're interesting, that adds a lot. So I have under my education, the school that I studied French at, because I was told that could be like a good conversation started, because you know, maybe some person that will interview me just loves the style of France and we can talk about it, you know. So I do have that under education. That's like a pro tip. Then under that, I have my extracurricular activities and my community involvement. I am very big on community service and like civic engagement, and that's a lot of what I do in my career. So for me, that's like a very important moment of like, hey, these are my like experience, position, jobs, internships, blah, blah, blah. This is what like I'm studying, and this is what I'm doing, because I'm showing you that I genuinely like care about the stuff that I say that I care about. And under my activities, I also have my YouTube channel, which I like never really thought it was like a big thing. It has like never really taken off or been like a huge hit or anything like that, but it is really like a passion project on the side. And I think I have genuinely put in so much time and effort into this project, and it really showcases a lot of my like interests and also like personality and personal growth. So now I also have it under my activities. So not everything is like school related and like professional. Like, I mean, my YouTube, it is technically like an entrepreneur like endeavor, but it's not like an academic thing. Like sometimes I just make vlogs and people like them. So again, like one of those extra things that you don't think maybe you can add, but you should definitely add. Then under that, I have awards and certificates, whatever you have received, any like honors, literally add everything that you can think of. And again, having that initial list of stuff that you've done and stuff that you have received, it's very good to then reference back and then notice what are stuff that maybe you didn't think about that you should add. And lastly, I always add languages. I do not know, I mean, it's something that I really like, learning languages. It's something that has always opened up doors. So if you speak more than one language, definitely add it to your resume. It's so important. Okay, my last pro tip is to keep it to one page, which I'm a little bit of a hypocrite because I do have a 2-page resume and it probably should be 1 page. But the thing that I do is that I keep a master resume. So I keep all of my positions with all of the descriptions that I have already given you tips on how to like build and craft. And then I kind of like Frankenstein resumes depending on the position that I'm applying for. So if I'm applying for a position that is hypothetically social media management, then I'm probably gonna add more of the positions that highlight my social media and like digital skills rather than my other endeavors because this like it's targeted to what I'm applying for. Or for example, if I'm applying for a data analyst job, I'm not gonna talk about like the work that I do with helping first generation students in college, because like, yeah, that's cool. Like maybe you crafted a curriculum or something, but I'm looking for someone who knows how to like manage cybersecurity. Like, you know, there has to be some sort of coherence with the position that you're applying for and the stuff that you're telling them that you're able to do. Of course, never lie. Like, you know, that's very obvious. But the point is, you know, keep this big resume, but only submit a 1-pager of stuff that is relevant to the position. And to quickly finish off this videos, here is what not to do. Of course, number 1, lie. Number 2, have AI like create your entire resume. It is a good tool to use maybe to like get the creative juices flowing so you think of what you're gonna write or how you're gonna structure your sentences, but don't have AI like make your entire resume, because that's eventually gonna backfire. Like I'm sure all those people who now rely fully on AI, something's gonna happen. It's not a bad thing. I'm not trying to demonize it, but like, don't rely on it. Also, do not add too much irrelevant information. So if you did some dog sitting back in high school and now you're applying to residency after medical school, I wouldn't add that to, you know, like, it's very irrelevant. You're just wasting time, and they're probably gonna be like, whatever, next person, you know? Number 2, do not add pictures. Here in the United States, we use resumes instead of CVs, CVs, which are curriculum vitae. And in other countries, especially like in the international like job market, they use CVs. And some of them include pictures, but here in the States, don't include a picture. And lastly, do not make it like crazy and colorful and full of graphics. Now, especially for very competitive positions, a human is not reviewing your resume unless you make it until like the last stages. But at the beginning, they receive so many applications that most of them are just getting like read through AI softwares. If you get a certain amount of points, then some like human is gonna review your resume. So if you submit like the super colorful, full of graphics and pictures like resume, the AI is not going to like give you a good score, and then it's most likely not going to be read by a human. So you want to make it as AI proof as possible, so then it's able to be reviewed by someone that has a human mind. And that's it for this week's video. Those are all the tips that I have received. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video a lot. Please leave any comments that you have down below. I love to read your comments. Also, do not forget to subscribe on my what am I saying? Please do not forget to subscribe on the little red button to join the family here. I try to make so many like YouTube videos. The semester has been crazy, but I have been trying to keep up. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the stuff that I've been posting. And without anything else left to say, I will see you guys next week. Bye. I'm actually scared. I'm like, should I be seeking shelter?